All right. So this is Ishan from PAPPS. So uh, yeah, so it's very important for all of you to please fill the performer. If you are unable to fill the performer during a 1 hour complete talk, that really shows that you haven't attended it. Simple as this. So if you couldn't find a performer, you can, text me, you can inbox me during the meeting, but I am going to share the link of that performer in the chat box so everybody can access that. So this is quite simple. All right, now I'm moving towards introduction of our resource person today, Dr. Amir Zaheer Saab. Thank you very much, sir. By the way, I know that you are absolutely busy, and if somebody wants to know that how much busy is Dr. Amir Zaheer Saab, you can check his social media activities where he keep on posting about his activities to different, institutes. So I have a formal introduction. As we all know that Dr. Amir Saab is basically an accomplished academic and a language specialist. Currently, he is serving as an assistant professor and head of the Department of French and Italian at the National University of Modern Languages, Islamabad, with a distinguished educational background that includes a PhD in phonetics and phonology. I always promise to my PAPS members that whenever you will have a speaker in our webinars, in PAPS webinars, we will have a specialist for that, and that is why our every next resource person is having the specialized education. It's not about random selection of the resource person. So with a distinguished educational background that includes a PhD in phonetics and phonology from university, I'm sorry, I wouldn't be able to pronounce this name. It's a French university name, and an MPhil leading to PhD in linguistics from NUML as well in 2011. And he, of course, brings a strong interdisciplinary expertise in language, sound systems, and linguistic pedagogy. Other than his teaching roles and his administrator role in the university, he serves as a translator as well at national level conferences, at government level, at international level as well. So it's a great honor for me to not only introduce such a great person. So thank you very much, Dr. Amir Zahir Saab. And before I ask you to start your talk once again to all the 65 members right now, rather 66 members, please stay alert and attend the whole meeting. If you do not attend the whole meeting, you are not going to get your e-certificates. So thank you very much. Dr. Amir Zahir Saab, I will ask you to unmute yourself and then you can start your talk. Thank you very much, sir. You can unmute yourself right now, sir.
Okay. Am I audible, sir?
Clearly, sir. MashaAllah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Before we start our webinar, I would like to take a moment to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Zishan Akram Jasra Sahib and the PAPS, Pakistan Association of Phonetics and Phonology Scholars, for organizing this webinar. Let's start our webinar. As you can see, the topic of our webinar is sound patterns in languages, why some sounds co-occur and others don't. So it's very interesting to discuss the sound patterns of different languages. So if we talk about the speech sounds, then it seems that it is also very important to discuss phonetics and phonology, especially for those people who are uh, new to this field, and for those people who have no idea about what is phonetics and phonology and what are speech sounds. So here is the definition of both phonetics and
I'm sorry
phonology.
to cut you, sir.
Yes, yes.
Can participants see the screen sharing? Is there any issue? Please, if you can respond to me in chat. All right. It's visible. And all right, fine. Thank you, sir. Please, you can carry on, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
okay, no problem. So for the people who have no idea about speech sounds or phonetics and phonology, let's uh, have an idea about what is phonetics and phonology. In fact, these are two domains, two fields, and they are connected. Both contain the word phone. The phone is the word for sound, and it's a Greek word. So, phonetics is the study of speech sounds as physical entities. So, in this field, we study the articulation of sounds. We also study the acoustic properties, and we also study that how these sounds are perceived. And the phonology is the study of the organization and function of speech sounds of our language. And in this field, we can compare sounds of different languages as well. But we study the function and organization of sounds of a particular language. So both are related languages fields. As I have talked about the phone. Phone means sound, as this word is part of telephone. So there is another name for another term that is known as phoneme. Phoneme is basically the smallest unit of sounds of a language, and it must make a difference between the other sounds as well. For example, if there is a s sound in the English word sip, and we have another word like zip, it means that we cannot replace one sound with another sound. Like we cannot replace s with z, because s and z, they oppose each other and they make difference in the meaning. So these two are basically different phonemes. They make difference in the meanings of sounds. For the production of speech sounds, we have a system here. You can see it starts with our lungs. So when we breathe, we inhale here air and we exhale air. So the inhalation and exhalation is basically the process of production of speech sounds. Mostly we speak when we exhale here, but in some areas of the world, in some languages, even when people inhale, they can produce certain sounds. Here you can see these parts of our body. I mean lungs, and then trachea, and then larynx and pharynx and nasal cavity and oral cavity. All these areas, the parts of our body, are very important for the production of sounds. Here you can see there is a process known as phonation. Phonation is basically the vibration of our vocal cords, and this area is known as larynx, in which our vocal cords exist and they vibrate when we exhale air from our lungs. It comes from our lungs and it goes out from our mouth or nose. So phonation is very important for the production of certain sounds. Here is here are the vocal cords. These are in fact two thin strips, and they are made of tissues, and they move, and it can produce certain sounds. They help us to produce some sounds. So the vibration of vocal cords in most of the sounds is very important. Then the area, the narrow space from which the air comes out, it is known as glottis. So this area is also very important, because when we keep our vocal cords tight or when we uh, make some sounds, so there is a, vibration, and other than vibration, they keep close, and uh, because of this, there is a series of different sounds. Then we have another part of our body which is used for the articulation. Articulation means the production of sounds. So here is the oral cavity and nasal cavity, which are very important for the production of different sounds. This area is known as vocal tract. I mean from larynx in the throat and to the our lips. This all area is known as vocal tract. There are different parts of this area, like vocal above larynx. We have the area known as pharynx, which is connected between nasal cavity and oral cavity. So these all areas are they take part in the production of sound. We have two types of our speech areas. Like some areas are fixed, like the upper lips and the ridge, alveolar ridge, or the oral cavity, upper part of palate, that is fixed. But the lower area, like the lower lip and the tongue, it moves. Our jaws, they move, and they help us to produce different sounds. There is a difference between vowels and consonants. All of us know what are vowels and consonants. In fact, when we ask students in the classroom what are the vowels and what are vocalic sounds, they always reply that A, E, I, O, U are vowels, and the other letters are consonants. But we have to know that we have a series of vowels in different languages, but in written form, we may have limited vocalic letters. But in fact, there is a series, a range of vowels. What is the difference between vowels and consonants? Vowels are basically speech sounds that are produced by open configuration of vocal tract. It means that there is no blockage, and the air comes from our lungs out of our mouth very easily. There is no vibration. It means there is vibration of vocal cords, but without audible friction. And the consonant is a speech sound made by completely or partly stopping the flow of air being breathed out through the mouth. So this is the basic difference between vowels and consonants. We can easily uh, pronounce, we can easily articulate a vocalic sound without any difficulty, and the vocal tract is open and the air can flow easily. So, for example, a, e, a, o, u, all these are vocalic sounds. Whereas for consonant, there is either complete blockage or partly the air stops somewhere in our mouth, and the air flow is not very easy. For example, p, b, k, g, for these sounds, there is a complete blockage. And for f or s, for z, the air comes out uh, when it touches our palate or our tongue. So these are consonants. Here we have a diagram that shows the vowels of the words languages. So in different languages of the world, we have all these vowels. But some languages have a very limited number of vowels, like five or three. or maybe 7 or 9, maybe more than that. But in fact, all the vowels of different languages have been presented in this diagram that is known as vowel quadrilateral. Here we have some nasal vowels because when air flow comes out from our mouth, it can also come out from our nose simultaneously. And those sounds which are made by the both oral cavity and nasal cavity are basically nasal vowels. And for nasal vowels, we use a symbol that is known as superscript tilde. And we put this symbol on our vowels so that we can recognize it easily that these are vocalic sounds. Here is a chart from IPA, International Phonetic Association. You can see these are consonants of words languages. So these consonants exist in different languages, and the uh, it contains horizontally and vertically. You can see different categories. These categories can tell us that where is the sound produced and what is the type of the sound. You can see that in this chart, some sounds are written in pairs, like on the left top, you can see p and b. So the first uh, left side, you can see p and b. It means that both sounds are produced with the same uh, speech area, but there is a difference. For p, there is no vibration in the vocal cords, whereas for b, there is vibration in the vocal cords. So some of the boxes are only having one symbol, but most of the boxes contain two symbols, one written on left side and the other written on right side. So if you see both symbols, two symbols in one box, you can easily recognize that the left one is without vibration of vocal cords, whereas the symbol written in the same box but on the right side is produced with the vibration of vocal cords. So this is from taken from the IPA chart, and this chart was revised in 2015. Here, this is the thing that we are going to talk about, and this area is known as phonotactics. And phonotactics is basically part of phonology. When we study the speech sounds of a particular language, we also study that these languages, these sounds, the function of these sounds and the appearance of these sounds in that language. So it is very important that each language has some rules, because in some languages, some sounds can combine easily, but others do not. So it is important to study the combination of sounds in a particular language. And these rules are basically language specific. For example, some phonotactic possibility is possible in English, for example, but it may not be possible in French or in any other language. So in phonology, these rules of sound combinations are known as phonotactics. How they help us? In fact, they help us to make words in that language, and they also these rules tell us what could be the next consonant or vowel in some words. So these rules are basically for one language, but in that language they can change over time, because with the passage of time, languages evolve. And this is the thing that their rules, they also evolve with the passage of time. Here is an example given with the PN sound. For example, in English, this consonant cluster uh, of PN, it is not possible, it is not permitted in English in the initial position of words, but in French, it is permitted. Like we have some examples here, like pneu. The first word is pneu. Pneu means tire, and we pronounce both letters P and N, pneu. In the same way, we can pronounce the second word pneumonia. Pneumonia is the word for pneumonia, but here also we pronounce both letters. And in the same way, pneumology is the word used for pulmonology. So in French, PN, the combination of these two letters is possible. Here is another example from French language. In English, the combination of P and S may not be possible, but in French it is possible. For example, psychology, we pronounce both letters P and S. Psychology, psychiatre, psychique, pseudo, psaume. In all these words, we pronounce P and S, both letters. Here are some examples from German language. In German, K and N both are pronounced. Like the first word is ni. In English, the sound is same, ni. But in German, we pronounce it kni. We also pronounce the first letter K, which is silent in English, in modern English. In the same way, we have another German word, knacken. Knacken means crack. And the third word is knoten. Knoten is knot. So in these three words, we pronounce K and N both. In the same way, we have G and N combination, and we pronounce both letters. We pronounce this word as gnad. Gnad is grace. We have another combination of P and F. Pfad. Pfad is path. So in German, in French, we have some rules that are different from English or other languages. So there is a separate field that studies this possibility, and it is known as the syllables. Phonotactics, they in fact operate in larger phonological units, and these are known as syllables. What is a syllable? If we ask this question from our students, they give different answers. And how do speakers determine the number of syllables in a given utterance? It varies. So, how we can define the syllable? In fact, we can say that it is a phonological unit, and we can also say that syllable is larger than the phoneme, because phoneme is just a single sound, the smallest sound of a language, like p, b, r, l. These are all phonemes. But the syllable is larger than that phoneme. It means that it combines some other sounds and some other consonants or vowels. And it is also studied that almost all speakers, they can easily divide words into syllables. And these are not sound segments, but these are syllables. And the speakers of a language can easily divide the same word into more or less the same number of syllables. It is easily possible for the speakers. Uh, and about the production and recognition of syllables, we can say that easily we can recognize this unit of speech, and we can easily break the words into syllables. They are easily identifiable, and we can easily break the words. But there is some hypothesis is, for example, the syllable is a group of sounds produced by a single puff of air or chest pulse. And for example, if the word we have two words like city or pots, uh, so there is a question that these two words contain one or two chest pulses, or are they just one single syllabic sounds, or they are disyllabic, they have two syllables? So this is the question. Then we have talked that the speakers, they can easily recognize two syllables, but there is just one chest pulse. So this is not a good definition of syllable. What we can do with the other features of syllable, it is basically related with the sonority, the relative prominence. It can be used for stress of a word. The length is also recognized by this syllable, and the pitch is also attached with the syllable. So certain phonetic features like beginnings or endings of syllables are very important to study. So we can make some segments of syllables, and it is known as syllabic segment. Each syllable is basically divided into one prominent segment. There is a vowel or a sonorant. What is a sonorant? Sonorant is basically the combination of sounds like glides. We have w and y. These are glides. Then we have liquids, l and r, and we have nasals like m, n, and ing. So we can have vowels or we can have sonorants. Then vowels are almost always syllabic. One vowel contains one syllabic sound. So each vowel can be a syllable. Uh, then we have consonants, and they are usually non-syllabic because they don't uh, involve in syllabicity. Usually, syllabic consonants are liquids or nasals, but sometimes there are some fricatives that are also used as syllabic consonants. For the division of syllables, we use two symbols. We can also use hyphen, or we can use a dot. So we can syllabify words like city and mistake. We break the words into syllables. These syllabic segments are represented by vowels and consonants. Non-syllabic ones are represented by consonants. This is the syllable structure. In the syllable, we have one part, the first part, that is known as onset. This is basically, it comes before the peak. Then we have core or rhyme, and it is divided into two parts. The first one is peak or nucleus, and the other one is coda. Coda comes after the peak, and the peak is usually a vocalic sound. Here you can see an example of the word city uh, with the syllabic structure. City, in the word city, we have sit, onset is S, then in core we have peak, I, and coda is T, and then we have peak, I. So this is the syllable structure of the word city. Uh, the coda and the onset are very important because when the syllable is closed, the coda is present, and the syllables are ending in consonants. They are closed syllables, like the word having one vocalic sound and the other consonantal sound. It contains the first vowel sound and the last one is consonant. In the same way, we can have a word having three sounds, like the first is consonant, the central sound is vocalic, and the last one is consonantal. And we can have the four letters, like the first one is consonantal, the second one is vocalic, and the other two sounds are consonantal. So we can have different combinations with vowels and consonants, but the peak is vocalic, and the onset and coda, they can be vocalic or consonantal sounds. And if the coda is absent, the syllable is known as open. So syllables ending in a vowel are known as syllables, open syllables. Like we can have just one syllabic sound. It could be a vowel, and with the combination of other consonants, like we can have a consonant before the vowel, we can have two consonants, three consonants before the vowel in some languages. Here we can see that we can divide the words into different syllables. Like we can put the dot or hyphen to break the words into syllables. Like in the word window, we have two syllables. And in the word tomato, we have three syllables. And in the word fundamental, we have four syllables. So we can easily break the words into different syllables. If the word is having just one syllable, then it is known as monosyllable or monosyllabic word. Like we have the examples beer, dish, deal, ball, bat. These are monosyllabic words. Then we have two syllables, and if a word consists of two syllables, then it is known as disyllabic word, like arrow, below, borrow. These are two syllable words. So we can say that these are disyllabic. Then we can also have trisyllabic words like beautiful, terrible, horrible, carefully. In these words, there are three syllables. So we can have different syllables in different words. There is another term known as consonant cluster. Cluster is basically a group of consonants, and they are pronounced in immediate succession. Like in the word strong, these three consonant letters are grouped together. They are basically consonant cluster. So in English, some words are uh, they can have three consonant clusters, uh, and in fact, a consonant cluster is a word that is basically a group of consonants, and there is no vowel between them. It is important. There is an example, the word written here, you can see crisp. In crisp, we have k and r sounds before I, and we have s and p sound in the end. So in this word, we have two consonants before vowel and two consonants after the vowel. So in English, we can have two or more than two consonant clusters in the initial position of a letter or in the final position of the word. The most commonly two-letter consonants are very common in English language, like b and l, then k and l, f, l, g, l, etc. With other letters, you can see there are combinations, there are consonant clusters. Here are some examples with the blur, like blank, black, blue, blast. And here are some examples with F and R, like fried, French, frank. So English permits these, allows these consonants clusters. But in other languages, there are certain rules to pronounce these words. There are some restrictions. In English, it is easy to have two or three initial consonant clusters, like you can see the words like splash, strike, squeeze, studio. In these words, we can have three consonant clusters in the initial position. We can have other consonants as well. Uh, and here you can see two consonant clusters like the words plural, prize, triumph, tune, 12, clone, crack, cute, quick, etc. In English, it is important to pronounce two consonants together. It is easy. Here also we have two consonant letters like slide, splash, stake. Uh, Here are the coda restrictions. Coda is the final position of the words. So in English, we have four word final consonant clusters or positions. The first one is single consonant, like in the word meat, and we can have two consonant clusters at the end, like in the word list, and we can have three like months and four like prompts. So in English, it is easy to pronounce these consonant clusters in the initial and final position of the words. Here are some consonant clusters, initial consonant clusters in Pakistani languages. Like we have given some examples from Pashto, Pashto and Balochi. These two languages basically are from Iranian group of languages. So in Iranian languages, they permit initial and final consonant clusters. These languages are very rich in clusters. For example, in Pashto, bda is possible, like in the word badastan. Dra is also possible, like in the word dre. And then zma is also possible, like in the word zmaka. Then ghb is also possible, gbarg. Then gd, gdan. These are all possibilities we can have in Pashto. In the same way, we can have ghla, ghala, then gma, gmans, then gran, graz, then guag. All these clusters are possible in the initial position. In the same way, we have ghwa, then kla, like in the word cluck, then kda, and then quat, and kha, like khata. In the same way, we have lma, lmanzal, lua, like luar, lkha, like lkhal. We can have muga, like mugor, mla, like mlatad. We can have mra, like mrach, mra, like mravi. We can have naga, ngal, naga, nagor. We can have plar. There is an example of consonant cluster of this word, plar. Plar means father. We can say that plaraza, O father, go, plaraza. And if we break this consonant cluster, we can pronounce palaraza. Palaraza mean go on the way. So when we use this cluster, we pronounce plara. And if we break the cluster, we can say palara. Palara mean on the way. So it means that the
Sir, your voice is not audible right now. We can't hear you. Your voice is not audible, sir. We cannot hear you. Everyone stay there. I'm in contact with Dr. Said. There is a network issue. We'll be, joining us soon. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for appreciating. Anyhow, just wait for a few minutes, stay connected, and hold your questions. I must say that your questions are going to be interesting for me as well to learn and hold them till the end. And our Dr. Sai will join us soon, inshallah. Right, by the time Dr. Sai comes back, uh, once again, thank you very much. And I must say that there are almost 92 people who are participating in this webinar, which is a good number. And how many responses did I receive? 90 responses. There might be one or two person who haven't, marked their attendance. If you have marked your attendance once, that is more than enough. You don't need to mark it again and again. All right, so the 90 plus number is a huge number, let me tell you, okay? And I The session is continued. Don't say was or well. Daxa will join us soon. He has actually an internet connection problem right now. Maybe a power cut due to the extremely bad weather right now. So stay connected. We are going to finish it after he finishes talk properly. Well, I'm not here to, of course. जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर जी सर जी. So yes, Daxa just called me and he's gonna join us. All right. So just taking some time. I'm nobody to replace Dr. Amir Zaheer, but just for the reminder, kind of reminder, I request all of you to listen to me carefully. Well, what exactly are we studying? As a teacher, when I am, delivering my lecture, some of you know me as, as a YouTuber as well. Maybe you might have watched my lectures on linguistics on YouTube. That is just so you might know my teaching methodology. So, you know, uh, basically, I always keep on asking from my students that What exactly are we studying right now? Okay. So I would just repeat that. Simple. We are trying to know that which particular combination, sound combinations can co-occur in a particular language, especially with reference to, English language. So that is basically the purpose to understand the session, that which particular sound combinations are allowed in English language. And of course, he's giving us examples from, other languages as well. And what he tried to, teach us was that, uh, you know, we have a syllable structure, and in syllable structure, we have an onset. Onset means that is the starting consonant sound. For example, if there is a word bat, so we have a b sound before a sound, which is the nucleus or the peak of that syllable or a word. So that bat, in bat, b is our onset. So he discussed that which particular sound combinations, especially when it comes to consonants. And when there are two consonants, of course, they are called consonant clusters. So he was discussing that an onset position and then at the coda position, which is the consonant sound that comes after nucleus. Okay, so what are the possible combinations of consonants? It means that it's not that randomly we can choose any of the sounds and combine and start speaking with them. There are some phonotactics. What is phonotactics? Basically the grammar of sounds. So there is a grammar of sounds. We need to understand that. And inshallah Tala, as soon as he joins us, I have requested him to discuss about the research avenues for this particular field. If somebody is interested in studying the combination of such sounds, you know, uh, he can of course watch that particular lecture, and he would be able to tell us that what are those particular avenues for the research. Okay, somebody asks that why are these important? What is this question? Why is it important to discover possible sound combinations? Well, I mean, it is important for the sake of research for the scholars who are interested to know that what particular sound patterns comes in a particular language and they do not come in any other language. So there is a kind of comparative study, as there is a comparative study possible as well. Then we move towards the hidden reasons behind that. There might be some articulatory reasons, as some of the languages, they do not have some particular sounds, so they, and then of course about the manners of articulation and places of articulation. So some of the places of articulation are not possible to be, not possible to co-occur, and some of the manners of articulations are not possible to co-occur. So this is basically something that is being talked about in this particular session. So let me talk to Dr. Saab once again so that we can know the latest situation. I hope that you stay connected here. Thank you.
Okay, dear participants, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
Okay, thank you for your patience. It was internet connection issue. So can you see the slide?
Yes, sir, we can. Yes, sir, we can. Thank you. And you can
Okay,
make it full screen if it's possible. Thank you.
okay, sure.
Thank you, sir. Yes, it is full screen now, right now.
Okay, thank you. So I was discussing the sound consonant clusters in Pashto language. So it is very important to talk about the Pakistani languages because there is a lot of study that is available on European languages like English or French or German or other languages. But from our own country, we must study our own languages. So this is why we have given the examples from Pashto language. So here you can see that different consonant clusters are possible in the initial position in Pashto language, like bra, dra, dizma, gba, gda, ghla. All these examples are available in Pashto. In the same way, we have this initial consonant clusters. They are very common in Balochi language. And as we have earlier said that Balochi and Pashto, they are part of Iranian languages. So in Iranian languages, there is a series of consonant clusters in both positions. Here you can see the examples from Balochi. We have dra, gra, gwa, kra, sra, and then gr. No, here are some examples from Urdu. Because in Urdu, uh, at the initial positions, we have a very limited consonant clusters like gram, gwala, gyara, crore, train. We also have dr like drama, pr like program, program, Pyar like pyar, zia like zyada, and tr like train. So in Urdu, we have very limited consonant clusters. Mostly they are from English or other languages. But in Urdu, we have another thing that is known as epenthesis. In fact, epenthesis is the insertion of a vowel. We insert a vowel in order to break the consonant cluster, because for Urdu speakers, some consonant clusters are not possible. So there is a tendency to break these clusters, and for breaking these clusters, we have to insert a vowel, a vocalic sound between two clusters. Because our phonotactic rules of Urdu, they don't allow us to pronounce two consonant clusters in the initial position. So mostly this epenthesis occurs with unfamiliar or complex consonant clusters. And here we have some examples from Punjabi. In Punjabi, we insert a schwa sound between two initial consonant clusters. As in the word special, we mostly pronounce like special. And for school, we do the same thing, that we pronounce it like school. And for stop, we pronounce it like stop. So we insert a vowel in order to break two consonant clusters. And in Urdu, it is a little bit different. In Urdu, we uh, initially we add an vowel in order to break the consonant cluster, and we do it at the initial position. For example, for the word special, in order to break these two consonants, this cluster, we put e sound in the beginning, like we pronounce it is special. And for school, we pronounce it like is school. And for stop, we pronounce it like is stop. We do the same thing in Sindhi language as well, and it is represented in the orthography of these two languages, Urdu and Sindhi. Here we have some final consonant clusters, and I have already said that Pashto and Balochi, they are very rich in consonant clusters. So in the same way, there is a series of final consonant clusters in Pashto. Like in Pashto, we can easily say lafz, we can say ugd, nagm, bogz, balg, we can say chilm, khalt, Lumd, Manz, Sarb. All these clusters at the end are possible in Pashto. We can say Charg, Dark, Charm, Tarm, Dersh. We can easily pronounce in Pashto. And in Balochi also we have final consonant clusters. We can say Kubl, Guabz, Zagr, Guahr, Halk. We can also say Tamb, Jamk, Trump, Drums, Pons. All these consonant clusters at the end of the words are possible in Balochi language. In Balochi vocabulary, in Balochi dictionary, we can easily find these words which are which have these consonant clusters at the end, like Ripk, Trupsh, Rokapt, Lipch, Urd. All these are possible in Balochi. And very interestingly, in Urdu also, we have a lot of final consonant clusters because Urdu contains a lot of Persian vocabulary. So from Persian, Urdu has enriched itself with these final consonant clusters like Qabl, Sabr, Habs, Rabt, Nabz. In the same way, we can pronounce Wajd, Ijz, Kufl, Dafn, Shakl. We can pronounce these words in Urdu language because these words came from Persian and the pronunciation of Persian words are kept by Urdu speakers. In the same way, we can pronounce hukm, rukn, fikr, shukr, qalb. All these are possible in Urdu. But in other languages, like in Punjabi and Sindhi especially, what we do, we insert the same vocalic sound or we insert schwa, vowel schwa, to break the consonant clusters at the end of the words. Like in order to say hukm, the tendency is to break these clusters and to pronounce like hukam. And for rukn, we pronounce it like rukn. And fikr is pronounced as fikr. And shukr is pronounced as shukr. And harf is pronounced as haraf. So in Punjabi, we break the consonant clusters because Punjabi language doesn't permit to pronounce two consonant clusters. We can't pronounce some consonants together. And in the initial position, we also insert a vowel, and in the final position, we also insert a vowel. And mostly that is a schwa sound, schwa vowel, central vowel. But in Balochi and Pashto, as their native vocabulary, it contains a lot of consonant clusters. So it is very easily pronounced. These consonants are very common in Pashto and Balochi because it is part of their native vocabulary. So this is all from my side. Thank you so much for your patience and your interest. I can see that a lot of people have joined our webinar. Thank you so much, Dr. Zishan Akram Jasra Sahib, for organizing the series of the webinars under your Pakistan Association of Phonetics and Phonology Scholars. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And we are here for the question answer session right now. Before we start question answer session, please follow my instructions. First of all, I will have a question from Dr. Sahib, and then if you want to say something on mic, you need to raise your hand. I will ask you to unmute yourself. You will unmute yourself, and then you will speak up. Okay. First of all, you introduce yourself. If you cannot or don't want to, speak on the mic, you can write down your questions in the chat box. I will read it for you, and of course, you can, share the feedback of this lecture as well in the shape of your messages. And after the session ends, please do, give the feedback wherever you are at, wherever platform you are. Before we start the question, as I said, I want to ask Dr. Sahib, Dr. Sahib, if you could, uh, you know, uh, talk about some of the research avenues for our speakers here, who are, participating here, of course, in a very good number, in fact, belonging to different regional languages, especially, I would say. What are exactly the research avenues, the research topics, to be particular, for if you talk about this particular lecture or talk right now, if you can, spread some light on it. Okay, okay, I have to unmute you. I understand. Yes, sir, please.
Okay, thank you. I was not able to unmute myself.
You
Thank
you
you.
can't you may not
Yeah.
mute yourself, sir, during this session, question
Okay.
answer.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir, please.
You asked a very good question. In fact, we have not explored our own languages. This is a dilemma that under the colonial period, we are in a position that we learn foreign languages mostly, and we are interested in studying the languages that are already developed, explored, and we are ignoring our own languages. If I'm talking about a particular language, just like Punjabi, but it is very interesting to say that different areas of Punjab and different dialects of Punjab have their own sound patterns and their own phonotactics. So we must study our languages, as I have heard some consonant clusters in the eastern Punjab, like in order to pronounce the word kanak for wheat, they pronounce the word like kank. So it means that some consonant clusters are possible in some areas of Punjab. So we must study, we must explore our languages, we must study our dialects and speech varieties of the same area. So I will appreciate the scholars to identify area, speech variety, or dialect in order to study deeply these all areas related to the phonetics and phonology. So this is
Sir,
what I
yeah,
can suggest.
there is one of my teachers, respected teachers here. She has asked a question. She is actually serving as a lecturer in University of Education. Thanks, ma'am, for joining us.
Okay.
Ma'am has asked a question that for this kind of study and research, I would really appreciate if you can share
Mhm.
some resources for Punjabi dialect, please. So, Dr. Saib, if you have any resources, you may email me or whatever you feel like.
Okay, generally we have some works published in East Punjab, but we have to go to the field and we must record some sounds, and we have to do research from the ground. So I think we have not done much about our dialects. So if a person is interested in studying these dialects, so we have to study, because the person would be the first one to go to the field and record the sounds and do some research on these speech varieties, because under the imperialism, linguistic imperialism, these areas are being ignored. So I don't think so. We have much research done on these areas. So we have
So,
to start from zero, I think.
yeah, like we need to act like a field linguist, of course, for this.
E-
And I have a
Exactly.
question. There is a kind of interesting question from Amna Majid. She asks that, sir,
Yeah.
why some sounds sound different in different
Mhm.
conditions? For example, she wrote g, like in Jeem of Urdu and Gaf of Urdu, and C English.
Mhm.
sometimes pronounced as a seen of Urdu or kaf of Urdu. So she is asking basically a very fundamental question.
Okay, very good. In fact, these vowels or consonants are not fixed. There is a variation. When we put different consonants or vowels together, it may sound differently. So, in different situations, different sounds are pronounced differently. For example, if I can give you the example of English and French, there is some common vocabulary, like we have the word uh, opportunity, okay, and the words, other words like having b and p sound. In some areas of France, we can hear that the p is replaced by b, or the b has been replaced by p. In fact, in the written form, we have some orthography and we follow the spellings, the rules to write the same language. But people, they speak differently. They speak in their own way. So sometimes it looks that they are speaking very differently. For example, if I give you an example of Punjabi, like we have a word hun. Hun means now. It is very common in all areas of Punjab, like in all speech varieties. But in one speech variety that is spoken in Talagang area, the same word is pronounced like Han. So this is a variation. This is a linguistic variation or dialectal difference. So in this way, people can pronounce different words differently. Like we have a word Mubarak in Urdu, but if we hear this word in different areas, so people they pronounce it differently. Like some people pronounce it Mubarak or Mubarak, yeah, Mubarak. So people pronounce these words differently. So I think there is no fixed pronunciation, as we have developed orthography to write a language in a standard form. But spoken forms, they vary, I think.
Fine, sir. We have
So this is
another
what.
question from another interesting question. Yeah, this is Hasnan Ali Hadri Sahib, and
Okay.
he asked that if Dr. Sahib has any example from Pahadi language. So, if you have any
Okay.
language from Pahadi,
Okay. In Pahadi.
yeah,
So I think the person is doing some work on Pahadi language.
yeah, maybe.
Uh, okay. I have worked on Pahadi, but I have produced how do you say, paper. It was in fact to describe the Pahadi grammatical features. It has some very unique features in Pahadi language. So I have no idea in what field the person is going to work or study. So first, you identify your area. I mean, you are studying the phonology, or you are studying the syntax or morphology, or what are you studying in Pahari? So
Okay.
it would be easy for us to identify and to guide you.
Sir, another question, and we are going to finish this session within these
Yeah.
2 to 3 minutes. So let's. This
Okay.
question is related to, yeah, it's what is the science of silent letters? Like when we talk in the context of this particular lecture.
Okay. Silent letters.
Yeah, silent letters.
Okay. Very good question. Very good question. In fact, what I have studied, I found that the silent letters they were pronounced in the history. In fact, if I talk about the word like knie, the German word like knie, and the French word like psychology for psychology, I think that in the history, these letters were pronounced, but with the passage of time, people they ignored the initial sounds and they just kept the final sounds, and the pronunciation changed in the spoken form, but in the written form of the same spellings, they kept the same spellings in the written form. Like we have an example from French. We have a word for seven, and the spellings are SEPT. It is the same like this initial form of September. In September word, we have SEPT. So it was initially Sept. Sept was just like seven in Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, it was pronounced as Sapt. So in Sanskrit, the per sound dropped and it became Sat in Punjabi and then Sat in Urdu or Hindi. So in Sanskrit, it was pronounced, it was Sapt, like we have the word Sapt Sindhu, the area of seven rivers, the land of seven rivers is known as Sapt Sindhu. In the same way, in Latin, we had the word sept for seven. And in modern French, they don't pronounce p, they simply say sept for seven, just as in Punjab we say sat for seven. So, in my opinion, these letters were pronounced in the history and they are part of the spellings because it give us the root, the origin of the words. Because if we drop these letters, we can't recognize these words easily. So with the help of the silent letters, we can go back to the history.
Exactly,
This
exactly,
is
sir.
this is what can I
All right,
understand.
so we
Yes.
have no more question from the chat box, but we have a very important person here, Mr. Khalid Mahmood Sahib, who is got Tamga Imtiaz as well, and I know him very well. So I'm asking you, Khalid Saab, to unmute yourself if you can, and if you want to say something, we are here for you. And we have to, of course, finish the meeting as well. Khalid Mahmood Saab, you can unmute
Mm,
yourself.
yes. Hello. First of all, Mr. Zaheer Jasra and Dr. Amir Asab, this is a wonderful session we had attended today. And
Thank you.
congratulations and appreciation to all the organizers and the presenter, mashallah.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I will just
You're not audible, sir. Now, Khalid Mahmood Saab, you're not audible. We can't hear you right now. Uh, I guess there might be some network problem today. I guess
Okay.
yeah. Okay, I can ask someone else as well to speak.
Yeah. Sure.
There, yeah, Mavish Rana, you can unmute yourself. Mavish Rana, if you want to unmute yourself, please unmute yourself. Mavish Rana. Mavish Rana, do you want to say something? All right, she doesn't have anything to say. So
Okay.
last person is Tariq Mahmood Khalid said. If you want to say something, you can unmute yourself. Tariq Mahmood
जी
Khalid.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Right.
अस्सलाम
Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम I am Tariq. I am doing my PhD in linguistics. I have just one question. Can we carry out a research, I mean a comparative research between English language phonetics and Urdu language phonetics in the particular area we have just discussed?
Yes,
Yes,
doctor.
I think is it possible? Very easily, you can compare the phonetics or phonology of two languages, and I must encourage you to do that because with the help of this comparative study, we can explore more richness of our languages. We can study easily, and we can present uh, our findings to the world. So I must say that you will do that, huh?
All right, sir.
I
There is
mean we can only
yes, please.
Yes.
okay I mean we can only consider those words in the Urdu language that are considered to be taken from the English language or borrowed from the English language. Can we
Yeah,
discuss,
very interesting. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, as a primary source of data?
Yes. Yes,
जी प्लीज
I think that if you are studying the borrowed words that are borrowed from English, then it would be a very interesting to know that in English, in modern English, how they are pronounced, and here in Pakistan, how we pronounce these borrowed vocabulary or shared vocabulary in our own way. But for this, I would like to suggest
So,
that
mm,
you have to identify one language from Pakistan. If you are studying more than one, then it could be difficult for you to work on multiple languages.
mm,
This is this
That's
is
it.
that
We have
you have to do.
absolutely last question of this session,
Okay.
and I appreciate the 63 people who have stayed here till the end of the
Yeah.
meeting. We have a question from Najla bin Abdullah. I think he is from Egypt, maybe, or any Gulf
Okay.
country, of course. So she
Mhm.
has asked a question that since recorded single sounds in the IPA website are not clear in terms of how to pronounce them, are there any resources that help learn about the correct pronunciation of those sounds? I think she's asking about the IPA sounds and how can she learn
Yes. Hmm.
the
This is a
correct
very
pronunciation?
good
Yes,
question,
yes.
Najla. This is a very good question. In
She's
fact,
from Tanzania, Tunisia, sorry, Tunisia. Yes, she is.
Tunisia. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Najla, for this very nice question. I have the same ideas, the same feelings, what you have expressed in your question. When I go to the IPA website and I try to listen these sounds, I found that these sounds are not clear. So in order to get the clear sounds, we must go to the community because we don't have another resource. So I think that as we don't have another option, so we must find someone, the native speaker of that language, uh, where we can have the some idea to listen
Yeah,
because
and there are some
Mhm.
YouTube videos as well. You can go for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
In
think if
fact,
I find one, yes.
yeah, you are right, Jasra sahib, but I think that sometimes the recorded sound is not very clear.
Yes.
So it could not help us.
All right, sir.
In fact, okay.
So
So
we are done. Thank you very much, Dr. Amir Zahi Saab. Once again, I would say I'm honored. I know that it was a great thing to be connected with you, and then you offered your time after my request. So thank you very much, Dr. Saab, for your time and a very detailed and a very interesting topic, of course, for me as a phonetician who has been actually, let me tell you, sir, that my work is in appenthesis. Basically, it is acoustic phonetic account of
okay,
appenthesis in Pakistani English. So
great,
for
great.
me, it was very
Oh,
interesting to know all this. And of course, I am sure that the people who have attended 90 plus, this is a big number in Pakistani, academia.
yeah,
We usually see 30 to 40 people attending a
exactly,
particular, and even I can name some of the biggest organizations who have been conducting such webinars, but hardly 30 plus people have been attending. So it's basically
exactly.
because of Dr. Amir Zahid Sahib, your name, and of course the type of topic we chose. Maybe this is something that attracted most of the people. So thank you
Yeah.
very much, Dr. Sahib, and thank you very much all of you. See you in the next webinar, and let me tell you, we are going to have an absolutely wonderful list of webinars, and there are going to be some professors from Western, countries, from very big names. You will see in under the umbrella of PAPS, inshallah. Ta'ala. So, Doctor, thank you very much, sir. Allah Hafiz, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.